Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another fascinating and enthralling episode of Kakaki Prism with me, Umar Isa Dandago. Well, my guest today is the perfect person to talk about today's topic simply because he is both theoretically and practically acquainted to it. Well, Barrister Honorable Halliru Danga Gari, a practicing lawyer, served as a member of House of Assembly representing Rimungadu and Tofa local governments for 2 terms from 2003 to 2011. That was during the Sheikh Haraus administration. He is here in the studio to talk us through the roles, responsibilities, and of course the duties of the State House of Assembly members, what they are expected to do, the do's and don'ts, what they do and what they don't do, their actions and inactions. And right now, such assemblies, not only in Kano State but in many other states in Nigeria, are accused of being puppets of their bosses. That means the governors. Meaning, the governors are accused of putting them right in their pockets. How true is this, and how damaging is this to democracy if proven real? So, what does this mean for our democracy? Are they really representing us or representing the interests of their bosses, that is the governors? Well, plus, what is Barrister Halliru Danga Gari's political allegiance? I'm sure I can see him with the red cap. He belongs to the Konkosia political sect. We will talk a lot about that in the course of the program. One Honorable Barrister Halliru Danga Gari, former member of State House of Assembly from the Rimungadu and Tofa local governments. Thank you very much indeed for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Well, I think I'm going to start with this kind of crazy but meaningful question. A source that I reached out to from your local government who claimed a great deal of anonymity, and I definitely give it to him, grant it to him. He said to me that politicians normally come to you to get a blessing from you before they get re-elected in their respective constituencies. How true is this?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Like you rightly pointed out, my names are Honorable Barrister Halliru Danga Gari. I was born and brought up in my Gari, Rimungadu local government, Kano State. I schooled within the axis of Rimungadu, Dawakin, Topa, and Kano State as a whole. Yeah. And I happen to have fallen into the political scene after my completion of BL degree. Okay, yeah. Bachelor of Laws. Yes. That is after completing my law school. So actually I found it extremely difficult to cope with the situation because I am not used to it. Even during school, I did not participate actively in
the SUG
school politics. Okay. Because I don't pitch into the system at that very material time. But God so had it that I had to be there. So after completing my law school, I come back. I took up teaching appointment with Kano State, Kano College of Education, Kano College of Islamic and Legal Studies. Yes, which was formerly known as Aminu School of Islamic and Legal Studies. Okay, that was in 2000.
In 2000, yes.
Yes, I took up an appointment as a lecturer. As I began, I was progressing. I was enjoying the teaching work. Then my local people then took interest that I have to come and contest for an election into the State House of Assembly. I was so shocked and surprised because I don't know how they identify that I can fit into politics. The interesting thing is there are so many graduates or so many people that are schooled and that are partaking in politics, but they said I have to come because I had tried sometimes during my university days to contest for election into the councillorship office of my ward.
Okay.
So I was defeated by one vote.
Okay.
I was defeated by one vote.
The margin was only one vote.
Just one vote.
Very narrow.
I lost to the other person. So that made people to, you know, embrace me. Because as I was defeated, I didn't show any remorse. I continued with my activities. I continued to
that was in 1999?
move about. 2000.
Okay, in 2000.
Sorry, 97.
Okay, 97, yes.
I contested for councillorship in 1997.
Yes.
So I didn't show any remorse. I didn't detest people. So I just go on with my political and academic lecturer.
Of course.
So that,
so that was the reason.
Led people to embrace me.
In 2003, they elected you.
They said I have to come and
they voted
contest.
for you.
Yes. So I had to come and contest. Then I contested. Fortunately, I was elected for the first time in 2003.
Yes.
Then thereafter, I recontested.
Yeah. In 2007.
Yes, I also got re-elected for the second time. And people...
Were you re-elected in 2007, I'm sorry to cut you off, because of your dignity and prestige, or you were re-elected because of Shekarau and his own fame and popularity at that time?
You see what happened, there was this popular factor of Buhari sack.
Yes.
2003.
Yeah.
It actually contributed towards our success. From the governorship, state assembly, and everything.
In 2003.
In 2003.
In 2007, it was Shekarau's fame that made it possible.
In 2007, we had problem with Buhari and his people.
Sure.
And they said we shouldn't be re-elected. But God so had it that Malam and all of us that were in that government did well to have the sympathy of the masses. And that made people to vote Shekarau on his own merit and the merit of those that are together with him.
Okay.
So
including you?
Yes, including myself.
Okay.
So that was how we got re-elected actually. So it was not based on...
But then in 2011, a lot of the cabinet members of Shekarau
what happened in 2011?
Sort of, yeah,
it was a grand betrayal.
Sure.
A grand betrayal.
I wanted to use the word.
Yeah, it's just the word.
Sure, betrayal, grand betrayal.
Malam Shekarau had never any intention to enforce any candidate in Kano State as a gubernatorial candidate.
But you people put pressure.
But we, part of the government, the legislature, has their own part. The executive from among them. Everybody that is in that government is craving for what Malam said she should. We should do that. We will do. Malam was forced to pronounce that this is his candidate. But that, it was as a result of the pressure that was mounted on Malam Shekarau that he was supposed to make such a public pronouncement that his candidate is Mansalu. But this does not mean Mansalu must be embraced by all. If you have your own candidate, this one has his own candidate, the other one has his own candidate. Let everybody go on his own. Follow his own candidate.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the then deputy governor,
that ATM. One, deputy governor and so many people from within the government formed a syndicate.
Yes.
I always take politics as a matter. It is, people look at it somehow that there is no trust in politics. I don't believe in that.
Oh, really?
There's
a lot of masses don't trust their politicians.
Yes.
Not only in Nigeria, even in the United States.
Although it's a global phenomenon.
Yes, of course. Somebody said politicians are paid to lie.
That is
true?
That is the impression. It's not true. I don't believe it.
Really? Because you're a politician, that's why you will always dispute it.
I don't believe it.
But there are so many instances in which politicians lie.
If I have a faith in you, I have a faith in you forever.
Okay.
Unless, of course, politics is not devoid of differences and some other things that may crop up in the course of time, which will, you know, make the whole scenario look somehow. You understand? But I don't believe. I had a good time with Malam Shekarau. Malam Shekarau didn't know me before I became a member. He never knew me. I never had any relationship with him. But since the time we become partners in program, partners in government, I understood him, I appreciated him, and since then we've been together. And up till today, even though we are not in the same political camp now, I still respect him as a leader. I still respect him as a person I worked with, and I know his behaviors, and I know his, you understand?
Yeah. You belong to the NNPP camp, the Konkosia movement.
Yes.
Look at the red cap. Where
yes, I am telling you. I now belong to Konkosia camp because I'm in the NNPP.
But you are still friendly with Malam Ibrahim Shekau.
I'm still cordial with him.
A source told me that you have been seen time and again visiting Malam Shekau's palace.
No. That was then. That was then.
Even,
when we were
even with the red cap.
No.
With the red cap.
We met, but I don't go to his house because I cannot be looking the double standard. I cannot be looking, you know, if
to have double standard.
Yeah, double standard. If I go there frequently, I go here. People look at me somehow.
So both the parties will not trust you because you play but double sides.
But what I'm telling you, I have no problem with Malaysia.
Okay.
Konkoso is now my boss because he is my political leader. He is my allegiance, my loyalty is to him and our government.
Do you believe in his own ideology? The ideologies, the political ideologies of Konkoso?
The ideology of Konkoso and that of Malam Shekara are almost akin, very similar.
Oh my God. A lot of people would disagree with you because Malam Shekara says that he bases his politics on religion, while Konkoso's politics is more of secular. How do you see that? How do you justify that similarity?
The thing is, both Konkoso and Shekarau, they are all Muslims.
Of course, they are.
I believe none of them will run his government or will run his policy in contravention with Islamic teachings and etiquettes.
Of course, but Konkoso doesn't talk about religion.
He talk about it.
How?
Even if he doesn't work, he doesn't talk outrightly to the hearing of everybody. That thing is inbuilt.
So Konkoso is a religious person.
Very well.
As religious as Shekaro or more religious than Shekaro? You belong to both of them.
I don't want to delve into. You see, attack our hahuna. That was what the Prophet said. Nobody can say you are more pious than myself. I cannot say I'm more pious than you.
But actions speak louder than words.
That does not translate into the reality of what is in your mind.
All right.
You cannot, just by your actions, that will not give a conclusive translation of what really is in depth in your mind.
Another thing that I want you to look at here is that Shekaro was accused of being so soft and so lenient and so weak. Konkoso is accused of being dictatorial, like a one-man, very strong leader that rules with an iron fist, similar to Kim Jong-un probably. Somebody would make
that is individual's perception. Everybody has his own perception. The way I'm looking at it, Malam Shekaro is so strict at times, even stricter than Konkoso in some aspects. And Konkoso, but he has one kind of behavior. He can overlook.
Who?
Shekaro. He can overlook. But Konkoso, the reverse is the case. If you do him something that is not pleasant to him, or he is not going down well with him, he will tell you to your face that this is not correct.
And he can easily fire.
And which is the best alternative. The best way of handling human beings. Because human beings are always taking undue advantage of whatever opportunity you give them. They take things for granted.
Okay.
If you show them some leniency, if you show them some complacency, they will think you are afraid of them, or you want to. They will just try and outplay you.
Yeah.
And by that, then you will be seeing scenarios. Things will be happening anyhow.
Okay.
But if you can be very blank and blunt, whenever anything happens, you put a stop to it and you draw a line.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody would be afraid to cross your border.
Sure. We're going to be very brief. We are going on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues, and we will look at the roles and the duties of members of State House of Assembly. All right, our viewers, this has been Barrister Honorable Halliru Danga Gari, former member of House of Assembly from Tofa and Rimangadu local governments. We'll be back after this short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.
Gwamnati cewa yau a janye tallafin ilimi, gobe a janye tallafin lafiya, jibi a janye tallafin man fetur, gata a janye.
Wa rahmatullah, Anti Zai da Abdulkarim, ina muku fatan alkhairi. Da Allah ina so ku karanta labari na domin ƴan uwana su bani shawara.
Su ne suka yi uwa suka yi makarbiya a wajen zabensa. Su kuma matasan nan mafi akasarinsu suna ganin kaman Kwankwaso suka zaba.
May Allah have mercy on him. Sheikh Ibrahim Arab.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
he's an Quranic reciter.
Yes.
Welcome back. You're watching Kakaki Prism with me, Umar Isa Dandago. And my guest today is Honorable Barrister Halliru Gari, former member of House of Assembly from Rimangado and Tofa local governments. Well, thank you very much, sir, for coming back.
You're welcome, madam.
Well, let's now dive deeply into the cracks of the conversation. Of course, debating Kwankwaso and Shekaro is an endless debate, and we got a lot of things to discuss. But in the first place, what would you say briefly about the roles and responsibilities of the members of State House of Assembly? In the course of my research, I've got to understand that they play some key roles, one of which is lawmaking, and number 2 is deliberative function, number 3, administrative function, and then number 4, oversight is investigative function. Now, the only one attention-grabbing function that has captured my attention is this, and I quote, representative function. It says, and I quote, the State House of Assembly members represent the interests of their constituents in the legislature. They are elected to voice the concerns of their constituents and to advocate for their needs. This seems more like a practical and applicable in the Western world, in the developed countries, but not in Nigeria. What can you say about this? It seems like the members are not representing the interests of their constituents, their people, their electors that have pushed them to those places. What can you say about this?
Well, actually, like you've said, the role, when we say role, we mean the part played by the legislature or members of the state legislature,
of course,
in the running of the governance of the particular state. And it is very important for us to know that legislature stands as an arm of government. That is to say, there are 3 arms of government: legislature, executive, and the judiciary. And this arm, the legislature, is, if well taken care of, the best and the strongest arm of government among the 3 arms. So they have functions to perform. One of those functions is the lawmaking. They make laws for the entire running and the regulation of the entire state in governance. And they take care of everything, every nook and cranny of the people's affairs in that particular state are regulated and guided by laws that are made by the state legislature. That is one. Secondly, they do budgetary responsibility, budgetary duty. That is to say, they give estimates as to how the government should expend its money or the people's money in that particular state. That is also another important aspect of the functions of the state legislature. The other thing is representation. Representation is like having people to voice out their concerns, their worries, aspirations, wishes, and everything to the government, so that the government should take care of them and make appropriate rules and regulations, so that they don't go beyond the limits provided by the law. And like you are saying,
we don't see this in Nigeria.
This does not happen in Nigeria. I quite disagree with you, because, of course, now there is a burning issue that is currently taking place in this our country between Nigeria and Niger Republic, or between Nigeria, ECOWAS, and
Niger Republic. The military junta
there is there is a general outcry. You know, I know, everybody knows.
Definitely.
This thing has generated a lot of controversy, and we here in Nigeria, almost everybody, the voice becomes one, and this voice could not be expressed except through the members we have in the National Assembly. I actually didn't watch the debate, but I heard that they debated robustly and interestingly, and they all agreed to reject the resolution of the ECOWAS government, ECOWAS organization, to go to war with Niger. And that was that position.
It hasn't changed the position of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
It has.
Okay.
Because he has resorted to some other means of finding out a solution to the problem.
Through diplomatic means.
Through diplomatic means, and which was the right way, the right thing to do. And this expression of the voices or the opinions of the masses, as expressed by the National Assembly members, was Senate, the Senate particularly, is an expression, is a clear indicator that they listen to the people's view and they air their views for and on their behalf. And that influenced the government to change its decision or its focus to a more liberal way of finding a amicable solution to the problem. Then the ulamas, those persons that are strong in the society and that are having some spiritual respects, they were able to see the president, and the president gave them the mandate to go and meet with the junta, and they did. And God so kind had it that they have succeeded in convincing them that they should go to table and sit down and dialogue with the ECOWAS. And that is the problem.
This revolves around the functions of the representative function of the National Assembly.
Yes, it's an expression of the representative.
A mark.
At least.
Okay,
they have tried. They have tried.
Briefly, we are running out of time. We only have, of course, they have done great, of course. And thank God you are a lawyer and a politician. You know the parameters and the scenarios that you look to observe whether or not a particular assembly is doing well or not. Briefly, we have only 5 minutes to go. What are some of the achievements recorded so far when you were representing your people? Can you remember some of them?
Well, alhamdulillah, actually I can remember the achievements I've recorded. I thank God I'm still living on their legacy, because I know it was our time, it was the first thing in our time, it was during our time we exposed the things that are happening in the State Assembly. And actually, before our time, there was nothing like what we have done. We have changed the entire scenario, because we had so many members and none of them can be able to show anything that he has done during his time prior to our coming. But on our coming, with the inception and the introduction of the constituency projects, we were able to achieve a lot by Malam Ibrahim Shekarau, and through the assistance, through the contribution of our honorable members. I actually was the first person to have come up with the idea of having some projects in our constituency. In our constituency.
So you're the father of constituency
Very
projects.
well. Like my speaker always used to say, he always called me the father of constituency projects.
Wow, that's great. So you feel happy.
My speaker, Honorable Sayyid Balaraba Gari. Because I was the first person to have prompted the idea of requesting the governor to give us some opportunity to be bringing projects that are small in nature, but very impactful on the society, on the people of the society.
Tangible, those that are concrete, that can be seen and touched.
So that was accepted by the whole house, and then Malam Ibrahim Shekarau gave us approval to do it. Bring it.
But unfortunately, a lot of members have been accused of using that as an opportunity to siphon
the funds. Actually, not
everyone. Not everyone does this. Not everyone constructs a road, hospital, or something like that.
Actually, that came up subsequently, because during our time we don't have access to the funds appropriated for the constituency projects. We only give the projects. If I'm going to build a mosque in my village or in another place, I will just propose that I'm building a mosque at so place. I don't know the cost. We'll give it to the Ministry of Works. They go and do the estimate, then bring the estimate that your work for mosque will cost kala.
Yeah.
And if I'm building maybe a road, it's normally undertaken by the Works Ministry.
Yeah, Ministry of Works, of course.
If it is a hospital, Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
If it is another thing, depending on the ministries we have.
You bring you table the motion.
We table the
and then
projects.
we do the projects.
We table the projects. We cite them. That is, we give the locations.
Yeah.
Then we send to the various ministries for estimation, for budgetary costs.
Yes, of course.
You understand? Then they come up with the whatever they have. There is a limit what we always get from the government.
Yeah.
At times the government will say we'll give 5 million projects in the whole of Rimgada and Tokava.
Yeah, sure.
And at times they say 10 million. Then they started increasing it until it become about 50%. Sorry, 50 million.
50 million. What about the 10%? Did you used to get 10% out of the projects?
No. They
no
gave
10%.
That time they gave us 3%.
Okay.
And they take 10%. 10% and it's divided among the components executing.
Isn't it corruption?
Isn't this corruption? Agencies.
Isn't this corruption that they wouldn't do it until they have been given some certain percentages?
No, they do it actually.
Okay.
They do it.
That's part of legal. It's legal.
It's anyway. I am not a full civil servant, but what I know is they used to give 10%. Okay. That 10%, the workers in the respective ministries get something. Then they gave us some 3% of the amount. That was what actually used to happen.
Finally, Honorable, yes or no? I just want you to give me an answer, yes or no. Is Abba Gida Gida's government being run and controlled heavily by Kwankwaso, yes or no?
No.
You believe no?
I don't agree. I don't agree.
Abba Gida Gida is said to be just the body.
No.
And the muscle. It's Kwankwaso that is the brain.
I can never believe that.
Because you are part of them?
No. Because of the fact. In reality.
You are sure 100% that is Abba Gida Gida running Kano State?
I'm very sure.
Not being influenced by Kwankwaso?
No, I'm not saying he cannot be influenced by Kwankwaso. But to say that Abba Gida Gida is not the actual governor of Kano State.
I'm not saying he's not the actual governor. He's being run and controlled by Kwankwaso, as allegations have it.
No, I don't see that.
Okay.
I don't see that because I know who a governor is. You understand? Kwankwaso knows who a governor is.
Because he was once a
governor. So I don't think his mind and sense will allow him to believe that he has to control and teleguide the subsistent governor. Well, I don't think.
Honorable Barrister Halliru Danga Gari, thank you very much indeed for being on the show. What can you say about the interview?
It's very interesting, very fascinating and interesting.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here and I hope to be back again.
Inshallah. Thank you very much indeed. We wish you all the best and thank you once again for appearing on the show. On behalf of everyone that has contributed to this interesting conversation, though a little bit debatable, my name is Umar Isa Dandago and I have to say a big thank you to the big boss Zainab Abdulrahman May Agogo. Thank you very much indeed and see you very soon. Assalamu alaikum.